First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of you, the visionary director, the organizing team, the students, that you've made history, and this is the first TED event at FAST University, Faisalabad Engineered Campus. And I've been here before as well, a couple of years ago, at Daira event. And at that time, I was amazed, and still I'm amazed at how beautifully you guys synchronize and how good you work. And the campus is amazing, it's huge. So I'm really glad to be part of this event tonight. And the really important thing to me was that I can be a small part of your success. Maybe I can contribute to that. So I decided to make this talk about how I achieved all of things that the host was very generous that he mentioned, and how my journey was. So to understand the entire psyche of how this thing happened, I have to take you back to the time when I was, I guess, in FSC. That was a long time ago, probably in 2003 or 4. And one night I was at the dinner table with my parents, and suddenly I was asked a question by my mother, and I guess you all have been through the same phase. And the dreadful question was, "Aage ka kya socha hai?" And I was like, okay, that's a difficult question, because I was really passionate about photography and film. So I told my mother that I want to pursue photography and film from National College of Arts, which is in Lahore, which was in Lahore back then, now it's in Islamabad as well. But to that she told me कि तुम्हारा बड़ा भाई तो मेरे हाथ से निकल गया है, और वो engineering उसने pursue कर लिया. Both of them are, by the way, doctors, my parents. तो उन्होंने कहा, this is kind of a family thing and you have to do it. So I thought about it for a little while. I wasn't really convinced, but I told my mother I want to pursue photography and film. This is my passion and this is what I want to do. But she made a deal with me, and she said that, okay, you can do photography and film, just first bring me an MBBS degree. And then I can buy you a camera, and whatever you want to do, you can do that. So I gave up, and you see, it was something very dear to me, the happiness that I wanted to see on my parents' face, and I did it for them. So that is how I got into med school. But when I got into med school, I understood how medical field is important to me and how it's going to shape my tomorrow. I didn't know back then, but it actually did. I studied anatomy, I studied different subjects, and that taught me a lot about human facial expressions and how they are made in different scenarios. And eventually, after graduating back in 2010, my mother kept her promise, and she bought me a camera. You see, I started photography in 2010, but I was really bad at it. And a lot of my friends mocked me for what I was doing. And this is a culture here in Pakistan that we have to face backlashes from a lot of people. And they told me a lot of bad things like, मेरी पासपोर्ट तस्वीर खींच लो, तुमने तो ये काम शुरू कर दिया है, and डॉक्टर बनने का क्या फ़ायदा था, ना बनते, तुम photography शुरू कर लेते. But you see, I had to face all these things, but I still had this passion for photography. Film wasn't in the picture back then. But one day I was, during the house job, the same year, 2011 probably, I was in the orthopedics ward. Orthopedics is a specialty in medicine that deals with bones and everything, and how we deal with fractures. So back then there was a lot of terrorism in Pakistan, in KP especially, and a lot of Pakistanis faced this backlash from a lot of global community that we were seen as terrorists and stuff like that. And one day there was this bomb blast at a market there in Peshawar, from where I originally belong. And a lot of patients rushed in. I was on duty, and I saw a lot of pain in people's eyes, and they were missing limbs. People were dying, and it had a really big impact on my personality. So when I went back home, I told my mother that we are the sufferers. Why are we being labeled as terrorists? Why is it like this? So she told me, whatever is in your capacity, change it. You just don't whine about things all the time. Change it. If you have the capacity to change the perspective, why don't you do it? And I told my mother, how should I? So she told me, think about it, and we'll come up with an idea. And eventually I came up with an idea that, how about I do an exhibition? I had this love for photography, and I'm going to take pictures of the achievers and those people who people think how they look as terrorists. So I made a contrasting portraiture for the exhibition, and that exhibition was held at Islamabad in Nineveh. And my cause was to change the perception of how people look at us. And when I did that exhibition, I had no other intention of getting something out of that exhibition. It was a solo exhibition sponsored by my own self. No sponsors were there. But eventually it got so much recognition that the first time I had to encounter TED was a publication from TEDx, that was TEDx Hackney back then, and they published that exhibition in their monthly publication. And apart from that, it got global publications in other newspapers and a lot of stuff like that. Even that exhibition was used as research by students in foreign universities. It's just a part of it, and we're just going to move on to other things now. Then comes, this is just a life story, and we're going to come at the end, and I'm going to make sense of how things changed for me. So the next thing was how I got into filmmaking. So there was this dire need of changing how our youth was into drugs. There were a lot of drugs back then when I was a student, and a lot of students were into drugs. And I made a short film about how these drugs are affecting our youth and how it's going to choke us as a nation. And I made a short film about that, and it got awarded, and that was my first award in films. And then the things went on and so forth. This is the second part of what you've heard from the host, and then comes the authorship. Why did I write a book? 5 books, but why did I write a book? What was the need of a book? You see, when I was a kid, my father is the author of Textbook of Pharmacology, and he wrote a book which became a textbook for a subject pharmacology in the entire Pakistan. It was a sold-out edition, and that gave me inspiration. So one day when I was a kid, I asked my father. We were from a middle-class family, not that rich, not that poor, but we were just meeting ends, and things were very good back then in the 90s. So I asked my father, I wanted to have money, like all of us do. This is what success to all of us is, mostly. We'll talk about that. But I asked my father, okay, you're writing a book. That's great. Maybe now we are going to be rich. We're going to have cars and big homes and stuff like that. And he stopped writing on the computer, and he turned around to me and he said, Beta, agar aapne paison ke liye kitab likhni hai, to bachche kabhi na likho. So that stuck into my mind, and I never thought that I'm going to write a book. But later on, let's fast forward to the current time in 2021, while I was teaching my students neurophysiology. And it is one of the hardest subjects in medicine. It's pretty hard to grasp the concept of it. But my love for neurophysiology was so much that I understood how the concepts work. So I started writing notes for the students, and those notes actually became a book. And by the time I published it, my actual goal was to make my students pass the exams. And that was published in Amazon. It became the bestseller on Amazon. And it also got an award for the best book of the year 2022. That is how my journey for authorship went. Apart from this, I own 2 companies as well, one of which was the sponsors for the last, I guess, last that I went to, was sponsored by Carbon Bespoke. It was my love for cars, and we make carbon fiber parts, and we distribute that throughout the world. The other one is a digital company that provides digital products for different enthusiasts, photography enthusiasts. They get digital products and they work on them. So the entire story, if you look at it, now let's dissect this story. Unfortunately, because of the social media nowadays, the youth is facing, their concepts are being destroyed, they are being distorted. That I've seen a lot, because whenever I open Instagram, I saw a reel back then, I guess a couple of days ago, and I'm not going to name anyone, but it was, a guy was asked that, how did you become successful? What are your aims? And his aim was, Elon Musk ko takkar deni hai. What kind of a concept is this? So we'll talk about this. Someone else, koi aa jata hai, wo kehta hai, garibo. So we all are through all of these things, and this is what we've been trained, that this is what success is. Success is about money, it's about fame. Yes, it's a part of it. I want money, I want fame, you guys want fame, you guys want money. But when you make money your goal, and when you make fame your goal, so then fame comes in different ways. It can be a bad fame. The money can be bad money. It can be taken away from you. My concept is never ever keep a goal that is money oriented, that is fame oriented. These are the byproducts that you will get eventually. I never worked for anything. I never thought I'd be on a TED Talk speaking to you guys. I only worked for my dreams. I only worked hard so that my dreams could come true, my parents' dreams could come true. These are my goals. Even now, I've started a podcast. Season one is complete, and a lot of people ask me, "Kitne paise bana liye?" So, like, it's not about money always. Money is a byproduct. You'll eventually get the money, you'll eventually get the fame, but you have to focus on what your dream is. You are not going to think about how much money you're going to make, how much fame is it going to bring you. The other part of success is the mindset of it is that, you see, a lot of people ask me when I meet them, they ask me, how do you multitask? How do you do all these things? Look at this story. Never did I start all these things at the same time. This is a wrong concept. Nobody can. No human can. What I did was I started to do one thing. I kind of perfected in a way that it was easier for me to do so that it could take a very limited time in my routine. For example, when you're a kid, you start walking. It's really hard for you. When you fall down, you get up, then you start to walk, then you fall down. But now look at you. You wake up, you don't even think about walking. You just walk to the washroom in the morning. It becomes a part of you. So when I did one thing, I concentrate on one thing. I make it easier for myself so it can take a lesser amount of time in my daily routine. For example, if you start making reels on Instagram, it might take a lot of time from you, but for me, it's only about 10 minutes because there's a years of experience behind it. I've done a lot of research on it. So I've made it simpler for myself. I know how to do these things. So if you look at it, a lot of my daytime is free. I spend my time with family, I spend my time with parents, and a lot of these things that you see are time bound. First it was medicine, then it was photography, then it was film, then it was authorship, guitaring was also a part of it, and podcast is now another part of it. It's also going. So if you look at it, these things did not start simultaneously. These all things were a part of it. But success cannot be achieved single-handedly. You might see me on the stage here, you might see or you might think this is what success looks like, but there's a team behind me. My friends, the genuine friends, my family, my mother, my parents, and a lot of that I do is for my parents, for their happiness, and that's kind of a goal that is non-ending. So if you have a goal for money, you might achieve a certain amount of money. You want $1 million, गरीबों पैसे बनाते हैं $1 million बनाओ. Fine, you make $1 million, then what? The goal is over. But if you do it for a goal that is unending, for instance, I'm doing it for the happiness and the pride of my parents, it's a never-ending goal. Even if they're not, God forbid, not with me tomorrow, the goal will still not end because I will do it for their name. The name exists. So always keep your goals that are not ending, that will not end. Because initially when you start doing something, you will be very passionate about it. But when time passes by, you will lose interest in it. And the only thing that is going to take you to success is consistency, nothing else. Imagine if I ask you, all of you, to join the gym tonight and you go and do exercise. Will you make yourself bodies? That's not going to happen. It's going to take years and years of practice, and eventually you become better. And as he said, Elon Musk ko takkar deni hai. You are going to give takkar to your own self. You should be better than yesterday, and tomorrow you should be better than today. This is how I look at success, and this is how you should have a concept. Whatever you see on Instagram is not true. Take my example. It's all about shairi, ghamgeen shairi. Everyone think this is a heartbroken guy. No, I'm not. It's a content. I make content what people like. It's not the reality. So understand this. I've just leaked out a big secret, but this is how things work. So you have to understand. My goal is to work for my parents, for their happiness, for their pride. You might have something else. You might have some other goal. But I've seen the high achievers. I've seen them, how they've served their parents, and Allah has given them in abundance whatever they want. Look at Shoaib Akhtar. There's a doctor that I know, he has served his parents' mother a lot, and he has got a lot of fame and money and everything. So he has got a status and everything. So you have to have good. So my goal is to serve my parents. And for their name, I'll do anything that is possible. I will not raise my voice. I will never say no to them, even they're old. I will only always listen to them. I might be more intelligent now, but I'm not more wiser than them. The wisdom only comes with experience, and they have the wisdom how to tackle the situation. Yes, I'd like to have their wisdom always. So I'll end my talk with this one hadith that is very close to my heart, and it is walled in my office that I look at and learn from it. And it is, "ऐ इब्ने आदम, एक तेरी चाहत है, एक मेरी चाहत है। अगर तू अपने आप को सुपुर्द कर दे उसके जो मेरी चाहत है, तो मैं तुझे वो भी दे दूंगा जो तेरी चाहत है। और अगर तू रूगर्दानी करे उससे जो मेरी चाहत है, तो मैं तुझे थका दूंगा उसमें जो तेरी चाहत है। बस होगा वही जो मेरी चाहत है।" Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.